Right after you were elected, Bill Forey, a newspaper editor and publisher in Dorchester, wrote, "Walsh's best quality, the one that makes him so likable, could be his greatest potential weakness in the mayor's job. He's a pleaser. He wants to leave everyone smiling. He seeks to diffuse confrontation and focus on the things that people have in common. That instinct made him eminently electable, but it harbors the risk that mayoral candidate John Connolly sought to define, that Walsh won't be tough enough to say no when it counts if it means losing a friend." As mayor, where have you said no when it counts that's resulted in you losing a friend?
Probably the Olympics being one. Something that I supported. That I supported from the very, thank you. Something that I supported right out of the gate. I thought it was a great opportunity for the city of Boston, and as we move forward and when we started to get into it, we couldn't come up with an agreement that I wouldn't have to sign the future of the city away.
You talked about losing some friends over your change on Boston 2024. I'm wondering what or who convinced you to so strongly back the effort right from the beginning?
No one convinced me. When we had a conversation about the Olympics, it's something that, it was interesting to have a conversation about it, not really thinking if Boston would be chosen by the USOC. And as we got more and more into the conversation about it, going up against Los Angeles, going up against San Francisco, going up against Washington, D.C., we realized that Boston's a special place and we have all the same attributes that those other cities have. We have the ability to be able to host the Olympics, so we went for it. And the USOC recognized that Boston is an Olympic city. It's a city that certainly could handle or host an event such as a big event like the Olympics. And then also thinking about what the legacy factor would be after the Olympics. Not my legacy, what the city's legacy factor would be. And at the time, Whitehead Circle wasn't really mentioned, but we were talking about it. And what came into fruition was Whitehead Circle, Harbor Point, Columbia Point, and really the opportunity to promote the city of Boston around the world. So I felt, and still to some degree, felt it was a great opportunity for the city. As the conversations went on, we certainly had the end of the day, the document, the final document that was the real document that you had to be concerned about. That guarantee that needed to be signed that would put the city basically on the hook for any overruns, I'd have to sign that document. There's no way I could have signed potentially putting the city on the hook for $1 billion, $2, $3, $4 billion worth of potential, not overruns, but if something were to go wrong. So ultimately, we made the call, had the press conference, and the SOC made their decision. What's happened since that time is that we have potential development in Whitehead Circle, which is 82 acres in the heart of our city that a year and a half ago, no one ever imagined that could be developed. Potential development site. We have a proposal for potential housing over at Harbor Point or working with the University of Massachusetts. They own the land, along with there's a couple of private pieces over there. So there's really been some good things that came out of this. As the Olympic conversation was happening, we came out with Imagine Boston 2030. So it's not tied to the Olympics, but it's a master planning process for the city. So it dovetails right into what we talked about with the Olympics. The one thing that not having the Olympics to deal with, it speeds up the potential economic development opportunities in Whitehead Circle, in Harbor Point, in other parts of the city that we're going to use venues.
You don't sound like a man with any regrets about the Olympic.
I had a little regret the other day when I saw the mayor of LA on TV after the city council voted 15-0, and they announced that they were going for the bid. And I think in 2024, I think some of us in the room and some of us in the city might say, God, that could have been us. But at that point, it's also about what's happening today in the city. And I can't, as mayor of the city of Boston, I'm not in a position where I'm one of 160 legislators and I can take a vote that I might like. I have to make sure that as I'm mayor and when I'm done as mayor, I leave the city in very strong fiscal position so that we continue the great growth and continue the great traditions in our city.